Hey, this is Lisa from coochiecoochiecoo.com. Today I'm going to show you how to sew a super simple t-shirt. It's the easiest you could possibly do. It's basically just a rectangle of knit fabric folded in half with two side seams and openings cut. There's not any sort of binding or hemming or anything, so this is a perfect project for beginner sewers or sewers who are just starting to use knit fabrics. Let's get started. For this project, it's not necessary, but I suggest you use a cutting mat, a quilting ruler, and a rotary cutter. You also definitely need some knit fabric, preferably that the front and the back look the same, a t-shirt that fits you that you can use for measuring your fabric shears, ballpoint tipped straight pins for knit fabric, and some small safety pins, some polyester thread to match your fabric, some tailor's chalk or something else to mark your fabric with. I'm using this chalk roller, and obviously a sewing machine. Let's get started. Fold your knit fabric right sides facing. Notice we have a fold here. The greatest stretch is going like this in the same direction as the fold. I've ironed the fabric and I've put some pins just to keep the edges together. Next, we want to trim off this edge here, which is rolling over. This is going to be a problem, so we just want to trim it right off so that we have everything nice and straight. You can see the fabric is a little bit crooked here. That's no problem. We're just going to trim it right off. Take the neckline of the t-shirt you're using as a model, fold it in half, find the center point, and put a pin in it. This is our center mark. Now position your t-shirt so that the top shoulder and the neckline is right along the fold. Now, you can make your t-shirt so that it's fitted like this one, or you can make it straight down. This one is very flared at the bottom, so I'm just going to imagine it goes like this. Now you're going to want to position it so that they're about 4 centimeters between the edge and the edge of the bottom. So I'm measuring 4 centimeters is here, so I'm just going to move everything over so that it's about there. We're going to test the fit first, so take some safety pins and pin together the fabric right along where your 4 centimeters would be, more or less. So you can either follow the fit of your original t-shirt or just do it straight up. I'm going to go in a little bit here and then back out. Make sure you fit right up into the armpit. Now we're going to do the same thing over on this side. Again, I'm going to fold this in a little bit because it's very flared. I'm going to put my safety pins all the way up this edge here. Now it's pinned all the way up. Now we need to trim off the fabric on this side. We left about 4 centimeters on this side from the bottom hem, so I'm going to measure 4 centimeters over here. So this is 4 centimeters. Let me just make it nice and straight. I'm lining it up over there so it's nice and straight. And I'm making a line. Here you can see the top of the sleeve, the very tip of it goes kind of over, and that's fine. This is what's going to happen over here too. Take your rotary cutter and cut off to trim the fabric, or just use your regular fabric scissors. Now let's trim off the bottom. I'm going to go more or less where this is because I like the length of this t-shirt. So just make sure you don't cut into the actual regular t-shirt. You can either use your chalk, make a line and cut, or just go directly with your rotary cutter. Now we're going to cut open the neckline. Remember, we have marked where the center of the t-shirt neck is, so let me just mark it on the regular fabric too. We're going to start first by just cutting here with our scissors. Make sure when you're cutting not to cut into the pins. The cut doesn't have to be perfect, don't worry, we will trim it later. Now we need to get the front layer. So fold down this center part. This is where the center is. So remember, this is here. This is the bottom of the neckline in the front. So I'm just going to fold it over here. It's right there. I still have the pin in place. So this is the center. So I'm going to mark that with another pin just to make sure I have it correctly. Okay. And I'm just going to move this out of the way, and I'm going to kind of draw a curve with my chalk. That looks about right. So now I'm going to remove my shirt. Now we have to be very, very careful at this point to only cut the front layer of fabric, which is hard to do because it's sticking together. There we go. So separate the two layers of fabric, and we're going to cut from up here all the way down over here. And here we have our basic neckline. It's very raggedy looking still. We need to fix that a little bit, but first we want to try it on and make sure that it fits the way we want. And here we have our basic t-shirt. There's the neckline here, and we have the basic shape of the sides here. Now, go try it on and see how it fits. Okay, I tried on my shirt and it was a little bit too tight for my liking. I want to add another centimeter on each side so that it won't be quite as tight. So you can either measure it out again or just eyeball it or whatever you want. I'm just going to eyeball it and mark all the way down. And I'm going to make mine flare a little bit more. I've decided I'm going to flare right out to the edge. The armpit was right, so I'm going to leave that like this. This is my sewing line. Now I'm going to do it on the other side as well. Now put some regular straight pins that you can sew with. And when you're done, do it on the other side as well. When you're done putting in the straight pins, remove all the safety pins. My original t-shirt had a nice natural curve here to the armpit. If your t-shirt is more angular, you might want to just use a glass. You can put it upside down and trace around it to get a nice natural curve. Now head on over to the sewing machine and sew right along your chalk lines on both sides. Make sure you use a stretch stitch. After you've sewn your lines using a stretch stitch and a ballpoint needle, try on your shirt, see if you like the fit. If so, then just trim off the extra bits. Now that the edges are all finished, we're going to finish off the neckline and make it a little bit nicer looking. So open up the shirt at the neckline. You'll notice especially here, it's really bad where the front meets the back, it's all raggedy. That's fine. So I suggest you start towards the back, okay? And with your scissors, try trimming off a whole decent amount like this, okay? Don't try to just trim right on the edge or it'll be really difficult. It'll fall apart. So trim off about maybe a centimeter all the way around. That way you can get a nice even cut all around. Pay particular attention when you get to the corners or to the edges here where the front meets the back. Make a nice even curve. We have a nice curve now. Go like this all around the neckline. And there's your nice even neckline going all around. We have our two sleeves and the armpit and the seam that goes all the way down. T-shirt is still inside out, so let's turn it right side out. And here's our nice new super simple t-shirt. Now go try it on. This t-shirt is so simple and really only takes 10 to 15 minutes to create from start to finish. And even better, you can easily make all sorts of variations. For example, trim the tops of the shoulders to make a tank top, or try making it tunic or dress length for the perfect beach cover-up. Or, like you can see here, simply sew further away from the edge of your original t-shirt for a looser fit with longer cap sleeves at the top. If you love this super simple sewing project, make sure you click like below and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I have a bunch of other really great easy sewing projects and lessons for every level sewist. And head on over to coochiecoocieCoo.com for dozens of free sewing patterns and my awesome and free Learn to Machine Sew course. See you soon!